I know a lot happened in Washington, D.C. this week, 11 hometown. And there was a history-making Supreme Court appointee. We should, very worthy of clapping. But there was talk of a fox on Capitol Hill. The fox bit 9 people. As of today, I think it is no longer of this earth. They have found the babies of the fox. Now, most people just think, oh, there's a fox on Capitol Hill. How strange is that? But if you are any Jewish knowledgeable person, then your mind goes to the Talmud, because there's actually a scene in the Talmud written almost 2,000 years ago in a section called Makot, where there's a fox on the Temple Mount. And so as soon as I heard there was a fox on Capitol Hill, I thought back to the Talmud and that story of a fox on the Temple Mount. It's after the temple has been destroyed and Jerusalem is in ruins and the future seems not hopeful at all. And Rabbi Akiva and some of his students are wandering around the Temple Mount and they see a fox. And all the other rabbis that he is with start to cry because they think here was this place of majesty and beauty, the Temple Mount where the temple stood, and now it is so desolate and barren that there is a fox running around. But Rabbi Akiva started to laugh when he saw the fox because he realized this was a dark, dark moment. And at the lowest, darkest moments, when there is a fox running around the Temple Mount because there are no Jews praying there, he realized that it could get no darker and it could be no lower, and he realized that there was hope for the future, and that is why he laughed. It depends all on how we look at a situation and what is in front of us, how we view it. In this week's Torah portion of Mitzorah, this section of Torah that deals with skin disease and leprosy, there is a part at the beginning that I take very literally, thinking about that fox on Capitol Hill this week. There is a moment when the person who has been stricken with leprosy will now be declared clean. And a ritual has to happen. And what has to happen, I'm sorry for animal lovers, 2 birds are taken. And 1 bird is killed, and the other bird is dipped in the blood of the bird that is killed. God bless our people and their strange rituals that we've had, that we don't do this today, thank God. The live bird is dipped in the blood of the dead bird, and then the blood is sprinkled all over the person who is cleaned, and then the live bird is set free. It's a very unusual ritual and a very disgusting ritual, but it actually makes me think about how we as a people view the world. That I hear about a fox on Capitol Hill, and because of my lens of Judaism, I think of the Talmud. Or I look at this Torah portion, which has this live bird with the blood of the bird that has died being set free, and I think of tonight and all that is happening tonight. Here's why. We have a bride being blessed tonight who grew up at the synagogue, and she is like that bird that is set free, ready to take on Atlanta and the world with her future husband. But I know her family, and I know that she is the granddaughter of Holocaust survivors who lost family in the Holocaust. And that is like the way that we live, where the blood of the generations and the difficulty and the hurt of the generations that have come before us is on us, and yet we are set free. Or I think of Margie and Maurice, who didn't grow up in major Jewish metropolises, but had to learn to be Jewish in the cities and states that they grew up in, where there were smaller Jewish communities. And the impact your families had on the community, the front row seats you had to the civil rights movement that your family had, and that you come to Boca with the memories of all the difficulty of what it meant to be a Jew in the world at large. And yet you bring freedom and beauty, and like the bird that soars, bring the most beautiful things to us in your presence and who you are. And perhaps that is the way that we see the world, that we look at the fox on Capitol Hill and remember that there were difficult and dark times for our people, but there are beautiful days like today, that those who lived through the difficult and dark times, the people who lived through those difficult and dark times could never, ever imagine. And so we are like the bird that flies free in this Torah portion of Mitzorah. There is definitely the historical memory, the blood of the past that we are obligated to carry with us. But God willing, if we have a world that is made better by all the good that we do, it will be a world where that all that difficulty will ultimately one day, God willing, be a distant memory. Shabbat shalom.